What's up, boys and girls? Nameco here, Dustin there, pen flip there that he fumbled on. Do it again. So what we're talking about is risers. So these are people that if you haven't drafted yet, you want to keep an eye on and maybe target a little bit more. They're going a little bit earlier than they used to. Or if you've completed your draft and some of these guys are available on the wire, you might want to consider picking them up. But first,
we're pairing back up with DraftKings again this year.
DKings!
And we are running our shirt promotion, essentially.
T-shirt!
If you follow our link, sign up, deposit at least $5 more.
$5 bones!
Play in a cash game.
And play.
Do that before the first Sunday of the season, September 11th. We will send you a shirt. Follow the link in the description or in the card to read all the rules that you have to follow to make sure we get credit for the sign up so that we can get your email and then we can get your shirt. So sign up, get on there. If you don't do daily, you need to.
Sign up, deposit, play, and it's great to do with your season-long league. All right, first riser I'm going to talk about is Dak Prescott. And he was borderline a riser before the Romo injury, but you couldn't draft him because he was a backup. But now that Romo's going to be hurt, and it looks like 6-10 games, and it's probably going to be closer to the 10 games, you got to consider what Prescott did in the preseason.
Pretty good.
450 yards, 5 touchdowns thus far as we're shooting this. You know, he's got the legs, he's had a couple rushing touchdowns, and he's just looked solid. If they gave away an MVP for the preseason, he'd win it. So we'll have another video to explain about the ups and downs with Dez and Elliott and everything like that. So check back to Fantasy Smack Talk to see that.
Yeah, please do.
It's called foreshadowing.
Robert Griffin III I'm talking about. Okay, I get it. I mean, you know, he had his rookie year, everyone's excited, and then he just really kind of tailed off. The Browns, you're not really sure what to expect from that offense, but the last year RG3 started for the Redskins, 2013, started 13 games. He averaged just under 250 yards passing per game. He ended with 489 rushing yards on the season during those 13 games. And when you look at that Cleveland offense with Coleman and Gordon and Pryor and Duke Johnson and Barnage, that's a fun offense. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go leaps and bounds, but there is certainly potential for RG3 to potentially crack the top 10 in fantasy for quarterbacks. So any type of 14-plus team league, any type of 2-quarterback league, he needs to be drafted as a high upside guy.
Prescott or RG3 late in the draft, who are you taking?
Depends on the format, depends on the settings, but I think RG3 is safer.
Okay. And Romo could be coming back, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy Langford's the next guy I'm talking about. And typically, we shoot these risers videos. It's something that we have to adjust with our rankings because something happened. Because, you know, we can make mistakes. But we don't got to adjust Langford because we've always liked him from day one. Nothing has changed since day one, yet all these other experts are like, oh, look at this. He's now a 3-down back. He's going to get a workload. Well, yeah, no kidding. So he's now moving up draft boards to the appropriate spot. We've had him as a rock-solid RB2 all along. It looks like he's going to get a ton of work for the Bears, so draft him confidently.
Kenyon Barner is one of my favorite wild cards this year.
It's a good call.
Get him on your bench. He was legit in Oregon. His senior year rushed for over 2,000 yards, or I think it was 2,000 total yards, passing and receiving, 23 total touchdowns.
Rushing and receiving.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, he's no joke. He's the real deal. He's behind one of the most injury-prone players in Matthews. I know they drafted Smallwood, but Barner seems to be the guy that's locked in as the handcuff. If he gets a chance, I really think he could run with that job, and you're going to be if you get Matthews, he's the guy, not Smallwood, in my opinion, to own if you have Matthews.
All right, next guy I'm going to go with a rookie, and that's Sharp, wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. You know, this kid's been getting a little bit of buzz for a while now, and during the OTAs, he started working his way in with the first teams. Early on in the preseason, you know, he's been working with the ones as well. And here's the thing. The thing I don't like about him much is the little bit of the pedigree. He's a 5th-round pick out of Massachusetts. However, all the buzz is there, and it looks like he could be a target monster for Mariota. So later in drafts, you got to be considering this guy. He's got a lot of upside.
Someone's got to catch the ball out there. Devin Funchess is the next guy. I mean, here's a guy that there's been a couple really positive reports on him, and he's just shot up draft boards. And I get it. I mean, he's 473 yards, 5 touchdowns last year as a rookie. Big, physical receiver. I mean, the touchdown potential is huge there. Just be ready for some inconsistencies. Don't go too crazy over this guy. I mean, he could very easily be the 3rd option for them behind, Benjamin and Olsen. And Newton doesn't throw for, 4,500, 5,000 yards. So, I mean, there's not a ton of yards to go around out there. But Funchess, I certainly see why people are getting excited about him.
Last guy I'm talking about is Christine Michael, running back for the Seattle Seahawks. And you know, I know he was very disappointing last year, bounced around a little bit, spent some time in Dallas, but he started with Seattle, he's back with Seattle, he knows the offense, and he has looked great thus far in the preseason. About, I think it's like 6 yards a carry so far, but again, it's preseason, so while he's a riser, and I think he's the clear handcuff to Rawls, and while I do think he'll get some work, even with Rawls being the starter, Rawls is the starter, is the key word there. I mean, I've seen people really reaching on Michael. Rawls, look at what he did last year. He was a beast. He was as much as beast mode himself. So while he's rising, don't go too crazy.
And it's very easy to do in the preseason. A couple positive reports, and all of a sudden, you know, you get.
But he's definitely draftable. He should be drafted in all leagues.
He should be 100% draftable, yes. James White is another guy that shot way up after the Dion Lewis news came out. Poor Dion. I wanted to see him play another year, but James wanted to play at the beginning of the year. But James White is very close to the same skill set as Dion Lewis. I mean, I would put Dion a little bit higher. But James White, when filling in for Lewis after he got hurt last year, 7 games, he had 35 catches, 3 touchdowns, and almost 400 receiving yards. That's just receiving. He didn't throw in a ton with the rushing yards, but you know, you double that, that's only at 14 games. You're at 70 catches, 6 touchdowns, and 800 yards. I mean, so there's a really good chance he could help you in a PPR league get off to a decent start. And he's certainly flex appeal type guy for every week that he's not competing with Dion Lewis. So we'll see when Lewis comes back.
All right, so that's it for risers. We also are going to shoot a video on fallers, so be sure to check that out. And Dustin, CEO, do you have anything else to say?
You like this shirt? Get on
that shirt?
thirdnout.com. There's a few of them on there now. Also, you have a few more days to enter our photo contest. Click on the link in the card. You can win cool prizes like a t-shirt or a championship belt for the grand prize winner. Lots of response so far on the photo
It's
contest.
Actually been awesome. There's a few really good ones out there. There's a couple locked t-shirts that we'll be debating.
I'm very happy that the community came through for me on that.
All right, that's what we're going to do. Even though I don't catch it, I'm going to flip it, and then as I'm flipping it, you flip that, and then I'm going to catch it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, flip it to you?
Obviously, the world revolves around me, not you. Throw it. Whatever. Of course I was going to miss it.